the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
I might sell on the big day by DeAndre Swift. Also, is that a Chili's hat, JP? I just noticed. I love that. I just noticed not a sponsor, but could be. Love that. You just lean in. That's
a fine dining institution right there.
It really is.
17 beers at Chili's.
That's right.
Sponsored by.
Give me a lemonade and you get the little 3 for $10. Never failed.
There you go. Jaguars lose to the Chiefs. Low scoring game. JP, what happened in the Chiefs game, and why did the Jaguars ultimately not pull it out?
The Jaguars lost because Chris Jones came back. That's really it. I've said the entire offseason, the Chiefs defense is good. Without Chris Jones, they're one of the best in the NFL with Chris Jones. And that's exactly what happened. You know, Chris Jones can take over a game if he wanted to. He didn't even play half the snaps. But the ones that he played, he was dominating every play. You just don't find that many game records on a down-by-down basis as you have Chris Jones. And
I saw a tweet that said, if you ever want to see basically a one person show where the one defensive player completely takes over a game, watch that game. Like, watch the tape of Chris Jones and you will see maybe one of the best single individuals,
And he didn't even play half the snaps.
Yeah.
The thing about the Jaguars offense was they knew, it felt like during the game, they knew they could not block those guys. They couldn't run the ball because you can't block those guys. It was a lot of RPOs, a lot of screens. They could not get the quick game going. And that turns your offense one-dimensional. It sucks. You got to figure it out. But I do think because it happened so early in the season, I'm a little less worried. The offensive line, I hope, will iron itself out. Play calling, I think, was fine because you can only do so much if you can't block. That is the thing I want people to understand. When we say the game is won and lost in the trenches, that's exactly what that means. If you can't block or you cannot stop anything up front, your game plan completely changes. The Jaguars' game plan completely changed because they were afraid they couldn't block the 4 guys up front, and they couldn't. They knew going into the game Chris Jones was going to line up over their rookie right tackle and still could not do anything about it. That's just really the skinny of it. The Jaguars' defense played phenomenal. Like, that was one of the best defensive performances I've seen by a Jaguars team post-2017. And
wow.
It sucks because, like, Mahomes does, like, the one Mahomes throw, and it's like, oh, you gave the offense enough chances to win, and they went 0 for 7 in the red zone. That's the kind of game that happened. But that stuff happens when you can't block. Like, you make it a whole lot harder to score when you cannot block up front.
Yeah, are they not in the tier? Can they get to that tier? Because we look at the Chiefs, JP. We look at I guess who else can we put in there right now? I think the Ravens are in that upper tier. I put Ravens tier 1. I put Chiefs tier 1. I would put maybe Dolphins tier 1 at this point. Oh, Evan, you're muted.
You have a bunch of tier 2 teams in tier 1. Like, those are all good teams that are
in the AFC. You don't think they're all in the same tier?
My point is, I don't think there's a single team right now in the AFC outside of the Chiefs that I would consider like no one's in the Chiefs class right now.
I don't know. Ravens, Chiefs, I think they're close. I think Ravens, Chiefs are close. And I'm actually really hoping that that's the AFC championship game to this point. The Ravens are good on both sides of the ball.
Ravens are capital G good. Like, that's
yeah.
I did love seeing Lamar Jackson go in and do better than
your guy Greg Roman being out of Baltimore is paying dividends early. Like, Todd Monken.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, like they are. Is Lamar Jackson an MVP favorite right away? Like, is he right?
I picked him to win MVP before the season.
You did, yeah. Do you know how you know that Greg Roman's no longer in Baltimore? You don't have 12 targets going to Mark Andrews and 12 carries to the running back. Like,
yeah.
It is so nice to see Lamar Jackson be able to be a quarterback. Like, Lamar is just such a special player. And I mean, like, obviously that's why JP called that beginning of the season.
It's if people forget that Lamar was a unanimous MVP,
Yeah.
and that's a wild thing. Like we take a lot of what happened with them not being able to find a receiver and Lamar being injured and be like, oh, Lamar's not that good. Lamar is one of the 6 best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'd venture
And nobody
to
wanted to
say
trade for him this offseason. Everyone was refusing to trade for Lamar Jackson.
somebody's team on here put a statement out saying they weren't going to trade for him.
Yes, they did.
But
first in the NFC South, though.
But Lamar is right now he's the 3rd best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like he's playing at such a great level. The defense is phenomenal. They had one of the best units in the league after signing or trading for Roquan Smith, and that hasn't changed. What they did to Joe Burrow was insane. What they did to that Bengals offense was insane. They're capital G good. I think if we're putting anybody in a tier with the Chiefs, it starts with the Ravens and the Dolphins.
I just don't like the Ravens running backs. I don't like Gus.